Hi, Dave Snyder here. It is the 10th day of February 2017, and I was just wondering if anybody happened to catch this pattern over Australia yesterday. It's pretty interesting. This is an overlay of it because it's not that way today. It's changed a little bit. Let's see how much. Yeah, I went to look at it today, and it was not the same as it was yesterday. Quite a bit different. This area right here is what I call the dragon. This is basically the dragon, this weather that comes from down here. It looked more like a dragon yesterday, actually. But this is like the head of the dragon, and I've showed that before in the weather. But anyways, besides that, back to Australia. So I've seen this weather pattern yesterday over Australia. Just like this, and this big purple blob right in the middle. I thought that was really interesting to see. Because you can see what that shape is. That you can tell what that is. I've been showing it every day, or pretty much every day. That is Mare Moscoviensis, the big egg, the big, the one that they all worship. So here is the overlay. Pretty much, this is not exactly how it was yesterday because it's hard to align, realign it. You can see that it's off a little bit here. The borders are, but it's really close. Anyways, that's what it looked like yesterday. So I overlaid this picture of Mare Moscoviensis backwards, flipped over image over this over Australia. And it's hard to see what I was going for there, but you can see the outline of it anyway. So after I got it somewhat aligned, I turned the weather off and I just went to align it to the land to see what I could do. And first thing I noticed really in this alignment, of course, you notice the big round part in the middle of Australia. That's obviously there. We all know that's there by looking at Australia. There's this big round feature in the middle. It's pretty much round. Okay, well, you see that. But there's also this big feature here, which I think is really interesting. This peanut shape, which is right here in this crater, right there. And I don't have it right over the top. There's room for adjustment of this overlay. Let me just put it that way. I'm not saying it's perfect or anything like that. It's got room for improvement. But I think that's the same feature. I think this right here is the same feature as that right there. I mean, it's the same shape. It just puts itself in the right place and everything else. It's pretty important, I think. I'm going to try to get it aligned better, but I just for the, making the video, I just wanted to show this real quick anyway. I mean, we know that it goes over the Himalayas, right? We know that. It fits over, that crater fits over the Himalayas perfectly. And it puts this the teardrop or the claw print or whatever. Now it's a teardrop, I guess. Again, I had it as the teardrop, then I changed it to claw print. Now someone else was just talking about the tear of the eye or something, and now that I've realized it, there is that tear is in the eye, because this is the Eye of Horus pattern too. This crater creates the Eye of Horus pattern, and it puts that tear right here, which would put the tear in the eye, which is pretty interesting, I think. Pretty neat when looked at properly anyway. I don't believe in those. Are all just myths. The stories of Horus, and it all comes from this thing. And now it's not, we can't see it on the moon anymore, but I'm sure in the ancient times people could see this pretty clearly, because it definitely left its pattern on the moon and on the earth right here. So anyways, and it shows that crater to be the size of Australia, pretty much. How big is Australia? Australia's pretty big. It's a big continent. Let's just go from one end to the other here. That's what they say. The whole size of the moon is that big, right there. That's what they say. The whole size, the entire size of the moon is that big, right there, or it's even less than that. So how could that one crater be? Because that's what size they're all the crater prints on the moon or on the earth are always that much bigger than they say consistently. The only answer I got is the moon's bigger than they say. I think they're lying. I mean, they're lying somewhere along the line anyway. That's what I'm trying to point out, basically. Either this has happened or it hasn't, and they're showing us it has, they're telling us something different, whatever. And we're just not getting the right story. So I just make up my own with what they give me. I mean, we can see the side of the moon that faces us, and you could take that picture of the moon that faces us, and you can overlay it over the continents too, and it'll fit those two. So I don't see any difference in using the other sides that we can't see. But there, I think that goes right there, somewhat, something like that. Like I said, there's a little bit of room for improvement. And yesterday, I also noticed this cyclonic pattern right here. Now, there's an area of Australia right here. They call it the North Pole. I mean, they joke around about how it became named. Some guy, named it the North Pole, and it stuck or something. And when they say stuff like that, they make fun of it like it's just not a big deal. They make light of the subject. It means something. It means it really is important. They just want you to not think about it. So anyway, there's a big cyclonic feature right here, right now. If you look on Knoll School. So what I did is I took the ruler here, and I just kind of went from this spot, which is basically the center of the cyclonic area, and I brought it to this side of where the line flips, and that just puts it in a really good spot, because we see that big, we see cyclonic weather on this side too, right here, as hurricanes that start off a lot right in this little spot right here. They say they come all the way across, but they don't turn into hurricanes till they get to about right here. And I got pictures that show that feature highlighted right there in that area of the ocean right there. So I thought that was interesting. And another thing I did was, we all know that there's been cyclonic weather up around Greenland. A lot of times it's like right here, but it kind of rotates around this point right here and goes towards Iceland, but it's usually right in this area. So I did the same thing there, and I took the ruler here and I went from about there to the other side of the world, and it flipped right here. And that was interesting too, because this looks like the edge of an impact here, and it puts it right in that area there. So that's another place that I thought was kind of interesting. And that's about it. I just wanted to point out that weather pattern. I think that weather pattern was pretty neat. Showed something. It shows something right in the middle with a big clearing around the outside of it. And it looks to me like it's that right there. That's what it looks like to me. So anyways, just wanted to share that. Hope you got something from that. I did. I mean, it makes me look at Australia differently, even though I've aligned a lot of craters over, like Mare Oriental and other things over Australia pretty accurately too. It's just been a while, and once they're up my list and I can no longer remember where they are. That's just the way it goes. They're kind of in the data bank somewhere. Anyways, that's a pretty good overlay. So have a good day. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Have a good day. Oops, wrong button.